Well, what I really liked that the way they figured it out was they said, he was like, how do we covet? And then you just see what you see every day. And then they're like, okay, well then we need to go to the first victim.
Yeah.
All the other ones are, he was trying to make it look like he's in Kentucky, he's in Alabama. Go to the first one because that's wherever she's from. He saw her at a diner, whatever. Every day he thought about it, and then
Exactly.
Dude, that part gave me the chills.
Yeah.
That
Just
was
now, you saying it, like, it was eating at him for years.
Yes.
Where the first one happened.
Yes. But they don't get that without fucking Lecter
without
doing his thing.
Lecter.
Without Lecter. Come on, Lecter.
Dude. God, that gives me chills.
Yeah. Well, dude, listen. So they have this, I don't know how to say it. They have that whole coveting scene, which is pretty, I don't know, it's pretty fucking eye-opening. But they get this moth out, and I think, what were we talking about? We were talking about these calling cards and shit. They've figured out through this behavioral stuff, all these guys eventually want to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's part of the compulsion of like having the need to kill. They also have this insatiable like thirst that they can't quench, hunger that they can't satisfy. But in the end, they all end up wanting to get caught, whether they know it consciously or not. And so it's like the thrill of the hunt for them and also being hunted. And they also like that fame and notoriety that comes with it too. Some more than others.
Yeah, some
obviously.
don't.
Some are like, man, whatever. I can go with or without.
Probably, we only know the famous ones.
Yeah, the narcissistic
There's probably a bunch of guys out there that never got caught because they didn't do fucking, let me put this moth in her mouth.
True.
Like they just didn't use a calling card.
People need to know.
People need to know about it. When they get past the autopsy scene, they start figuring out a little bit of his routine, I guess, after that. And then she goes back to Lecter, and he asks her out of the blue, was there a butterfly? And she's like, yes. There was. Yes, there was, Dr. Lecter. There was a moth. We found a moth. And he's like, yes. You know, I had a patient once. And then they go into this whole patient thing. And it turns out I guess he knows him. And I don't know if the FBI actually knew that going into this and like used that as like kind of like, you know, hey, this is going to explain part of the relationship here between Buffalo Bill and Hannibal Lecter.
Maybe it's just.
Well, that's my question. Did he really know the whole time, or did he know for sure? Because the guy that they get, remember, the FBI goes to the wrong place.
Yeah, they go to the wrong place.
And Clarice just goes on her own to the Miss Mary Whitting's house, whatever the name is, and he had bought that house. That was the last clue.
Yes. So she goes, because that was, I don't know, God, that's probably like 2/3 of the way through the movie. She kind of figures it out. But maybe halfway through, they figure out after that moth thing, and she goes back and she starts talking with Lecter. Lecter brings up the patient. Couple of interesting things, by the way. He brings up, I had a patient, Miss Moffat, blah, 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 whatever the fuck that was. And that leads to like this storage facility scene. But he says that he used to have this patient, which ends up becoming a victim. But this patient was a gay guy who was going out with this guy who was really starting to disturb him because he started making these comments and like saying these things about and having these fantasies about like killing people, but he hadn't really acted on it yet. And then Lecter says that guy, the boyfriend that he was talking about, thinks he's a transsexual, but he's not really. And then he starts going on this whole tranny thing. And I'm like, for 1991, whenever the movie comes out in 91, so I guess they film it in 90, that's pretty fucking on the nose. Because if you look at like a bunch of stuff since then, it's a lot of very confused people end up becoming these serial killers as a way to, I guess, cope with whatever that confusion is. So that was a whole other topic. I'd never really keyed in on it before